Welcome to Truth Be Told. I'm Captain Ron. With me, of course, is Tony Sweet.
That would be me.
And that'd be him. Today, we've got a very exciting show, Tony. My favorite week of the year, every year for the last 4 years, has been
Don't tease.
Contact in the Desert.
Yes.
We've been talking about it on the show for about the last month now, and we're really excited. And today, in studio, we have Victoria Gevioan and Bonnie Burkert. And they are going to share with us all the details about this year's thing, because we got a new location this year.
That's right.
And every year, it's just so much fun. And I've brought people with me each year, and they're not really like in this world necessarily. And they leave there embedded, and they have a great time. Right. And it's always a lot of fun, and we're really looking forward to it. It's coming up June 1st.
And it's a new location.
At a brand new location.
I love it.
Bonnie, or Victoria, why don't you tell us a little bit about the new location and the new plan?
Well, first of all, it took about, thank you for having me on.
Please.
Okay, I really appreciate that, guys. And it's really a pleasure to know that your audience itself are very interested in this subject, because it's hard to find sometimes people that you can share.
It's a niche.
With.
Yes.
And it really is.
It is.
Yeah. Although growing extremely. Okay. So the interesting thing about this new location, I went through about a dozen hotels, and everybody is spoiled because at the other facility that we were at, we had an indoor and we had outdoor, right? So try to find a hotel
That does both.
that has a large area outdoors and a very, very large area indoors, which I found, which is extraordinary.
It's amazing.
Okay, so we have the amphitheaters now indoors,
Oh,
and then at
great.
night only, when it's cooled, we can go outside, providing, of course, the weather is good.
Right.
So, but meanwhile, all the other rooms and everything are all indoors now. So, and there's not all the dirt.
But being
Although
able to
people
go
like the
outside, being able to go outside is a huge part of the experience.
It
I
is.
mean, walking around late at night, you literally have the stars because we're out in the desert.
That's right.
And that's part of the whole experience, and it really gives you that vibe and feeling. It just adds to it.
Right, and we have a very, very, and besides the lawn, that giant lawn, it's called Rose Lawn there. There's also a golf course which completely is going black at night. Any lights there, they're gonna shut those down. And because it is in the middle of the desert, you still see all those stars.
You do.
Oh,
And,
awesome.
and by the
nice.
way,
Tell
I
me.
love those night vision goggles. Have you looked at them yet?
We didn't
No.
get a look at
Oh
them
my
last year.
God.
No.
How could you go
The
there?
guys with us had them, and they were talking about how great. They all saw something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I think Bonnie might have
tell me,
seen
you
something.
were there when they saw it.
Well, it's interesting because there was people can go and borrow the goggles and just look at them if you don't have a chance to actually purchase them. And so there's always great gatherings. And so 2 years ago, we were gathered together. There were probably 150 people, and sure enough, something happened. And I saw this without the goggles.
Oh,
so
you did?
many
Without
people
the
see-
goggles?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
So there were many people see that much more with these goggles that really go deep into the sky. But no, we actually saw 5 different lights. One was actually a little bit of a blurred purple. I mean,
Really?
it was extraordinary. And who knows? I mean, what did I see? I don't know, but it was the feeling that I'll never forget. And everybody really came together and were just thrilled. So that's the excitement.
Either
around
Victoria
Contact is-
manned up on the special
know?
effects budget,
It's like-
or
Oh, did you see that? You were there.
I
when
loved it when
we
that
did-
thing in the do.
Yeah. Da, 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 da.
Awesome! I thought that was fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Honest to
God.
God, it was really great. It was like you felt like you were at
There's a hologram
Clo-
out in the desert.
Close
of a
Encounters.
spaceship.
Great,
And
yeah.
then we
Did the
redid
sound.
of the Close Encounters.
Close
on the
Encounters.
big screens. Remember that?
so cool.
And the video that took everybody through that space kind of genre where we
Yep.
went through all of these different films and things. Oh, we had so much fun. Oh my
They think
God.
of everything at this, and anybody that's into any aspect of this, there's something there for you.
And there's a video of just what Bonnie saw on our site.
Oh, really?
Yeah, contactinthedesert.com. And if you go to that, there is the actual video, and you can hear everybody screaming, going crazy when they see these ships, right? They don't know what it is.
I was one of those people
And she was
screaming.
Were you? Oh, that was Bonnie.
Cut to Victoria with her laser pointer going.
And there was some laser pointing happening
No, it
too.
was great.
So,
It was really
so different location. We won't be in Joshua Tree.
Right.
We'll be down closer to
Palm Springs. We're right there. Yes.
But still the open skies.
Right.
And the gathering at night. And it's really nice to be able to be outdoors at night together. I mean, so that's something that I think everybody really looks forward to.
Another really special thing that we have this year that you haven't seen, either of you, we're bringing in a 360 dome, so it's like VR without glasses.
Wow!
Right?
I have
so
not seen
there's one
that.
where you're going out into space. We have another one on the 7 temples of the Mayan. We have another one on dark matter.
Oh wow! Awesome.
So we're remember every year our thing is my saying is bigger, better, different. How can we make our show bigger, better, and different? Everything gets thrown back into the show. We want to make sure that the experience, that you are immersed in a place where you just won't forget. You know, our return rate is over 50%. That means that when you go to our show, every other
That's
person that you see
amazing.
Comes
are coming
back.
back the next year.
Yep, I've recognized people just
Yeah.
from the
yes.
3 years I've gone. I've noticed that it's true, and also it's another thing. It's the people like that. It's just like we talked about like on Halloween. If I was standing there in a bar like today, any female is going to slap me or yell at me. But on Halloween, you can just walk up to somebody because you're Edward Scissorhands, and it's like, "Hi, how are you?" And it's fine. The same thing at Contact. You could just walk up to everybody.
Yes.
Hey, you know, what's your story? And they'll start telling.
And everybody has a story.
Yeah,
Everybody there.
And
That's
they
another
all
good
want to
point.
know
Yep.
what to do. They're all there because I mean, look at this. We have. I mean, this is like one day, okay, of stuff.
Sure.
One day, and we have over 50 speakers speaking. And
This is the only
That's
problem I have with this because I want to be here, and here.
Oh, I know.
know.
You can't see
Bilocate.
everybody.
You
Nothing you
have
can
to
do about it.
bilocate like
Yeah.
I do all the time.
Well, what's really cool is you guys record them.
Yes, we
And
do.
if you want to see something that you've missed, you can. I thought that this really, I think, is one of the slickest events because I'm also a big like South by Southwest guy. I've gone to
Yeah.
music and film in many years, but taping it, like it's like God. If there's somebody I really wanted to see, having the opportunity to get that DVD
Right.
or see it again or share it with somebody is awesome.
Yes, it is.
It's like things like that are really thought out, and I think that's why half the people go back, or
Yeah,
more
we
than
have
half.
to. And not only that, but sometimes you go to these things and they'll give a lecture, and the problem is that the lecture is more like a commercial for their workshop,
Right.
which is so sad.
Right.
We don't allow that, not at all. So when you go to a lecture, you're getting a 2-hour topic that you've never heard before, and then you go to their workshop if you want, or you can go to an intensive on Monday. But the beauty about this show is that, okay, say you go in and you see somebody and you go, you know what, I'm really not interested in this subject. Let me go to another one. You just get up and you just go to another subject. You're not locked in there for 2-3 hours with something that you're really not interested in. There are speakers that we have that are ex-FBI agents. And,
Oh, yeah.
And we have we had last year Senator Gravel. We've had astronauts like Edgar Mitchell and others. All these, and by the way, talking about, I know you're going to get into your own experience and all that, but I found out just recently, you know, before Edgar passed away, he went to this astrophysicist who works at Harvard and asked him if he would take over his lead on FREE. There's a group that work with abductions. Abductions are on the rise. This is what they're finding.
wow.
Yes, so I find that fascinating.
That is fascinating.
So I'm all for all these different ones. Have you read Whitley Strieber's book?
Of course.
Okay, I cannot get through that book.
Oh,
Because I've had
it's
so many experiences that I literally, and I told Whitley, I said, Whitley, I mean, seriously now, this is freaking me out because every time I start there,
it's disturbing.
it really is.
It really is
Well, I
genuinely
start
disturbing.
having experiences again. So that's why I can't
Literally, that was my fear of reading it. Was
No,
I
don't.
didn't want to encourage them to come see
right,
me.
and that's what happens.
I swear to God, that's what I thought.
Hun, you're right. Because frequency, as soon as you get in that book, you start getting that frequency. The frequency is like a beam, man. They see like a little light, right? Oh, there's another one awake now. Let's get them.
You're like, no.
Now, hold
I'm
on.
just
Now, I
kidding.
want to tell our audience. I mean, I don't want people to think that this thing is full of everybody that's a contactee.
No,
and it's that
not
kind
at
of thing.
all.
It's not a tinfoil kind of crazy
No,
thing.
Not one.
There are a few of those there.
Are they? Because I have not seen any.
Anyway, most of the people, it's amazing. Like again, I've brought people. The guests I've brought each of the 3 years were again not really of this world, and there's stuff of interest to them. And
Right.
and listen, we sat there under the stars and watched the movie Contact
Right.
on a giant digital screen and loud
Oh,
thing.
was that cool?
You don't even have to be into this and think that's awesome.
It is
Right.
awesome.
So I mean, I just don't want people that I think some people might hesitate to come out
Right.
because they're like, oh, I'm not going to go there with all these abductees and this freaky
No,
thing.
it's
It's
not
not
at
like
all.
that at all.
No.
It's a
We talk
conference.
about these
Yeah.
different. It's a
It's
conference.
not a festival.
No, it's
a
not a
conference.
festival. It is a conference, and we bring in physicists. And,
Right.
Because science
Like
is
Graham
everywhere.
Hancock and people
Oh.
like him come there who's the
Robert
best.
Schoch.
Right.
You know,
Those guys are there almost arguing almost
Jacques Vallée.
counterpoint.
Jacques Vallée.
Jacques Vallée's fantastic.
I mean, all these amazing people. You
It's-
cannot, seriously, I go out of my way to make sure that we have very grounded individuals, military,
Yeah.
ex-military personnel
Correct.
that have been at our high ranking that have come. So, no.
John
we are
D'Souza from the FBI.
Oh,
He's been in here. We love him.
absolutely.
We
He's
love
so
that
amazing.
guy.
He's
Love that guy.
amazing.
great
He's
supporter.
amazing.
And it's looking at it from an FBI's agent's perspective. What a genius thing that is. So just I want people to know that that's really more what it is.
Oh, no,
And
if you're serious, this is a very serious thing. Now, look, everybody knows that no matter where you go, you're going to hit, there's always going to be that one speaker that's going to talk about whatever, But you know what? That's his experience.
I meant more the audience. I mean, it's not like you're
yes.
going to be walking around with a bunch of people in tinfoil going, "Oh my God, they're
No,
coming!" And
not at all.
it's not like that at all. I mean, there are people probably that are really in, and there are also just laymen or whatever that are interested in the topic
Right.
as it grows,
That's
as you
right.
said. And I think that's very important to note that.
Yes.
Don't be afraid of it being like that, because it's not
No,
like that.
it's
Because
not
like my
at all.
friends that I dragged were kind of like, "Oh God, I know this is your thing," and then they went there and they
And
were
they had
like,
a great
"It's
time.
over?
It's
oh,
normal."
Oh my God! Right? It is normal. It is. It is. And then now and then there were people there that we met that have had things or seen things.
Yeah, I
And
wanted
other
to
people that
comment
haven't.
also that there was a breakout group during the lunchtime.
Yes, Cosmic Cafe.
That for people that needed to talk about
Right.
experiences
Oh,
they
really?
had had.
Oh, yes.
So it was just a quiet corner. If people wanted to come together, and I thought that was really important.
It really
Yeah.
is.
There's so
because-
many different things you guys have. That thing you had last year, Tony, you went off and sat in the room with the, what was that? You went off to the...
Oh, the Integratron.
Oh,
Right
you
on.
went there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes. Well, see, that's another thing about our show. We have tours. It's
Yeah.
hilarious. We have tours to Integratron, Giant Rock, Crystal Hill. And so, we may go, we're tossing it right now, so don't hold me to it, but it's looking positive that we're going to go national next year, maybe.
Wow.
So if we
Wow.
do, it'll be New York. But I want to find
You heard it
spots.
first.
Yeah, in here, you're right. I want to find spots that have these kinds of
Sure.
places right
You
there.
could almost do Sedona or something.
Yes, you could.
Something like
yes,
that, yeah.
because but it has to have some richness to it. It
Sure.
has to
Right.
already be in that frequency.
Yeah.
New York's very powerful. Mount
Oh,
Shasta.
that would be a
Good
my
one.
God, yeah.
Good one. Very
The only
good.
problem with Shasta is there is not enough hotels. There is nothing
Yeah.
worse than turning away
Right.
400, 500 people, which what we did last year. Thousands came, but still, because there was just not enough hotels in town.
Yeah.
So now we're cool.
You could
We're
do Dulce,
in
New
Hotel
Mexico.
Alley.
Right. There you got plenty. Dulce,
Yeah.
you could do Dulce, New Mexico, but there's like one 4-room hotel, and that's not going to
There
work,
you go, there you go.
I noticed a lot of people, using tents in the desert. Are they going to
Oh,
be able to
yes.
use that around
They
the?
have to use. There's one 5 miles away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's a few minutes. That's
Yeah.
not bad.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of taking them inside a casino this year. I think that's a real special treat for some of the...
casino.
Tony asked me that.
You know what?
I'm like,
Before the show.
I'm hoping there's a
There is
casino.
there is
Oh,
a
yeah.
casino nearby. You're right. But we don't have it ours. Believe it or not, a lot of speakers don't want to speak at a casino.
Of course, I think
It's the
when you
energy,
said that too,
yeah.
I thought, I'm glad it's not at a casino.
Right.
Yeah.
And I love casinos, but
Yes.
I don't want,
Everything
you don't
is
want that.
It's about frequency.
That's
You know,
right.
You, really
You
have
want to get in
stay
this
it.
zone. And that
yeah.
was a nice thing about the previous locations
Right.
were, I mean, you're almost forced to be in this.
That's right.
You really are, because it's just, there's nothing else there.
No.
Literally nothing else
No.
there. So there's no distractions. It's you're all communally
Right.
experiencing these things.
And
It's
the
really
same thing with the new place, because the new
Sure.
place, even though the hotel, it's out in the middle of nowhere, but the hotels are around us. That's it.
yeah.
So you're still immersed in that. So you don't have to go anywhere. Everything is there for you.
Right.
And the beauty, but I have to tell you, I don't want to harp on this, but I love our attendees. Our attendees are the best in the universe because they are the most sweetest, kindest, smartest people. Oh my God. You ask them about any year, anything, any whatever, they've got it down.
Yeah, a lot of them are very informed.
Oh, yes.
And another thing is, what's great is the people that aren't, okay, so you're talking about the attendees.
Right.
Obviously, those people all have their story because they're into this culture.
Yes, that's right.
But when Tony and I, we talk about this all the time. If we meet just Joe Smith on the street,
Right.
a lot of times they'll ask us about the show, and we're not certainly not embarrassed, but almost like, well, we talk about UFOs,
not experts.
and because we're thinking we're going to get the usual, I don't like that or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
They inevitably they say no, I'm not into that, I'm not interested, and then it's like a pause, and inevitably You know, there was this one time.
Exactly.
Everybody's got a story. Not even the people that are into this culture. Everybody on the street's got a story.
That's right. And it's growing. It's growing every day.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine, they had a T-shirt. They had gotten a T-shirt one year. And the funniest thing, that he wore it out there, and he says, I had to stop wearing it. He goes, he was stopped by everybody. Oh, I went. I love that. I haven't been there. I want to go.
This year they're going to be selling the Truth Be Told T-shirts.
That's
So-
right.
So,
Yes.
I hope so.
Absolutely.
I love it,
Contact
especially
in the desert.
the new logo.
Well, I'm curious, and I want to go back to the beginning. That you being one of the founders,
She's the founder.
the founder. But I mean,
Well, with Paul Andrews.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I interviewed Paul, I believe, last year.
Right,
Yep.
exactly.
And I always find it fascinating, the process of coming up with the idea and putting it together and then actually making it happen, because everybody has an idea.
Sure.
What was the process of putting it together, and then now this many years later, was this the vision that you and wanted to or is it
anything? I have to tell you, this show has been extremely successful.
Oh,
Contact
huge.
in the Desert grew organically and automatically and was effortless as far as its own growth.
Right.
The work behind it, yes, it's tremendous load. You got 50 speakers, you got to make them all happy.
Right, schedule them all.
gotta
That's
schedule
that
them all.
logistically is insane.
and some are sure, some don't get up before noon.
and to be honest, a lot of these are older guys.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, and they were like, "Oh God, where is it? Over there?" And I'm like,
But you know what, though? I'll tell you, we bought in some younger ones this year that I'm really excited about. But, you've got it. Come on. I mean, seriously. How could you not want to meet Eric Von Daniken? He's the grandfather of all. Come
No
on,
doubt.
Really? That guy is as sharp as a tack.
He's
Have
amazing.
you ever heard him speak?
we saw him at Contact.
Well, we
the last
interviewed
few
him
times,
twice
of
so
course.
far.
I mean,
We've
he
had him on
goes
the show
on.
twice.
Oh, he's fantastic.
How does he keep all that information in his mind?
He is fantastic.
Because what was it, last October when we interviewed him?
Yep.
And he called in, from what, Switzerland is where?
Oh yeah,
he's
we had
And
him on
he-
this show.
and he-
Aside from,
Oh, you did?
we saw him
Yeah.
live there,
Okay.
but then
And
he came on here.
And
Yeah.
I was just like, I can't even. He's blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, how do
Yes.
you?
And he's what,
the
88 or
energy
something?
and
Yes.
just-
And he's unbelievable.
Oh no,
Yeah.
he's and I asked him. He says, "Yeah, he has steak every day." I wonder if that is the key.
Just steak.
Yeah.
Steak,
Yeah,
maybe for
just
him.
Yeah,
And
for
you know,
him.
he is one of those guys that you can tell that just being excited about life and excited about his
Yes.
topic, that keeps you going.
That's right. It's
And
'Cause
what I
he
love about
zips
him,
around.
though, he also, when he, puts out a subject or a research,
Right.
he has no qualms of saying, you know what, I made a mistake.
That's right.
Remember, he
You're right.
said,
Yep.
he put in his original book.
He said that
Chariots of
nobody
God.
saw my question marks. That's
Yeah.
what he's mad about. He says, because he never
Yeah.
said
Right.
an alien did this. He goes, what if an alien did this question mark?
Exactly.
And I thought that's
Right on.
compelling. That's a
Right.
good point,
Yeah,
Tony.
yeah, and that's what really stood out to me.
Well, we've got at Contact in the Desert, we're bringing in Nassim Harriman. We've got, which is great because he's going to give you the science side.
Right.
Also, Michael Sala, the physicist, is coming.
Michael Sala's been on here. We saw him last year at Contact as
I
well.
am so enamored with anything that has to do with Antarctica right now.
Oh,
He's the guy with the
Okay.
underground pyramids in
Yeah, yeah.
Antarctica and all that
Exactly.
stuff.
And
Absolutely.
David Wilcock is going to talk about it as
It's
well.
fantastic.
Corey Good is going to be talking about the secret space
Oh,
program.
wow.
And we've got A.J. Girard. One of the interesting things, he's going to be talking about UFOs in Brazil. So one of our panels, people love panels. I don't know if you got to go to any of the panels.
Of course we
last
did.
Oh,
year,
yeah.
But, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
listen.
Between our
We
interviews.
go
Panels.
from dawn to dusk. We're the guys that really soak it all up.
Yes, good. well, I have this one panel about UFOs around the world. So we've got different speakers coming from all the different countries, including Clifford Mahooty, or the Native
Oh.
American.
Oh, well, I got a story about
Okay.
Clifford for you.
Okay.
We'll
I
talk
was
about
so
off the
embarrassed.
air.
Oh,
But yeah,
okay.
yeah, I was so embarrassed.
So
Yeah.
he's going to talk about the sky people.
I love
and,
it. Yeah.
So we're going to hit all these different things. So that's
Well, that's another good point that I want that we should touch on is that it's not about abductees or UFOs or Antarctica. It's all of these things.
that's right.
You know, anything in this truth be told, coast to coast kind of subculture. we
Forbidden
talk about all these.
archaeology.
Forbidden archaeology is a great one.
Absolutely.
We should get Michael Cremo in here. That would be
Well, he
fantastic.
came 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago.
Great.
We've had them all. Which, by the way, we're going to be having our own YouTube channel coming soon.
Good.
So all
Nice.
these things will be accessible. So
Great.
you just get to watch it. I'll be watching it
Is this
too because
YouTube
I
Red,
don't have
or-
time
Well,
to see it.
Let me ask you this,
So much
Victoria.
information.
What about you personally? What is
Yeah.
your favorite area? Do you succumb to
Like a
the
topic, or-
abductees or UFOs or
I'm There's two things that I really am into.
Tell me.
The abduction aspect.
Right.
Okay, and that's because I've had my own experiences. And the other thing is consciousness aspect, about how our consciousness is changing. It's kind of, did you see the movie What the Bleep? And do you remember how it's in the Diary of Columbus, where the ships are coming and the people are standing along the shoreline, but they don't see the ship.
Yeah.
And so the
Right.
shaman comes out, sees the ship, points it out. Now all of a sudden everybody on the shoreline can see it. So it takes shamans, it takes the early birds to have seen it first, and our consciousness is slowly getting more clearer and more open, and the veil is lifting.
Sure.
And then with all of the technology that we have today, it's on everybody's camera. You
Right.
can't hide this anymore.
Right.
It's getting ridiculous
Yeah.
to deny it.
Well, that's like we're waiting. What we keep saying, we want to see more. We expect more.
Yes.
We expect to see a Bigfoot on here. We expect to see. Everybody's got a camera in their hand.
That's right.
Yeah.
You had the abductee. You had Dr. David Jacobs at
Oh,
this,
yeah.
which he's the king
Oh,
too.
yes.
He's awesome.
He's really great.
Yep.
I don't know if you got to hear him.
Oh, I sat with him
did.
for an hour
Oh,
by
you're
myself.
So
He's.
fortunate. You see this?
I told you that was the time of my life. I mean, David Jacobs, I think, is unbelievable.
He is. He's got amazing
Yep.
stories.
He does.
We
And he
got-
just tells it as it is, as matter of fact. Up, they're here. This is what's happening.
Yes. And Yvonne
I mean,
Smith
it's-
is going to do a group regression. Have you ever done that?
No, but that
No.
sounds like
oh
a good
yeah,
time.
that's like.
Tell us what that is. I don't even know what it is.
Well, the Yvonne's great, by the way. She just finished a new book. Gosh, do you remember the title of her book, Yvonne Smith? Well, anyway, it's called The Chosen.
Okay.
Anyway, what she's going to do is everybody's going to be in the room, and she puts them all under hypnosis, the whole room, and she guides you, and then to those past memories, and then you come out, and everybody shares their experience. Whoa, that is really powerful.
Wow.
It's really.
You want to try
powerful.
it?
Now, this state has legal
Well, you should try
marijuana.
it.
Is that right,
I'm gonna
Tony?
Interview you.
Yeah, Tony, I think I'll film you coming out of that one. That's going to be tough.
He's like, I'm back in ancient Rome.
That's
I'm
right.
good.
We do have legal cannabis in California, so I'm really getting.
Wait, I got to tell you a story.
Tell us.
In my home, I used to do these past life regression things, right? And I had this one friend who she would always dress very risque. So she goes under in hypnosis, and then she comes out and she shares her story. She says, "Well, I was standing on a street corner, and I was like,
Awesome.
She
You're like-
didn't know.
Awesome. That's fantastic.
They kept handing me money. I
That
don't
kind of
understand.
street corner.
If you come out and say the same thing, I will
Yeah.
lose my mind.
Yeah.
Let me tell you
And I
that.
have dollar bills sticking out of my shirt. Then it'll be that's a whole different story.
But I want to hear her experience.
Yeah,
What-
Bonnie,
what
tell us about
yours?
your experience.
As far as going to the show and
Tell us your favorite part about Contact.
Well, I'd say the people for me also, because people come from all over the world. I mean, it truly is the biggest of its kind, and I've had the benefit of being frontline, so I meet people as they're coming in, and I also talk with the speakers and get to put together shows like yours with the speakers, and for me though, I'm going to say I'm fascinated with the ancient archaeology part of this, the ancient civilizations.
I say I join you. That's my
my
favorite
Yeah,
aspect.
So for me, if you haven't spoken to Dr. Robert Schoch yet,
Oh yeah, he's fabulous.
We had him on here recently.
oh, you
Yeah,
have.
He's
yeah.
Oh,
awesome.
I have to go
Great.
back into your archives and listen
Yeah.
to the
Check it
show.
out. He's great.
But
He did a
I'm-
good job.
I think he's a great speaker, one, and two, just fascinating what he talks about. And for me, like you say, Victoria, scientific. He's a geologist, right? And so we've got some scientific studies to support these theories. And so for me, that's one of the things that I find fascinating. I'm into, you mentioned the changes, the energetic changes, but
Right.
I'm also into the actual earth changes. I know that
yes.
I've heard recent shows talk about the incredible earth rift that's happening in Kenya. Did you hear about that?
Saw it
So-
online.
Tell
It's
us.
a
I'm-
huge-
It's massive. Yeah, it's really massive, and it happened, I think, rather quickly. So
It's literally splitting that continent apart.
It's amazing.
So
Yes.
the speculation is that the Horn of Africa, this is just showing that will eventually break off. I mean,
But
not
we're
in our
7 million
lifetime.
years away.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
right.
not
It's
in our
not going to be this
lifetime.
weekend.
But
We'll be
yeah,
fine
see
for
the-
Contact.
so
There it
the
is.
size of that
In
is
that
incredible.
in that
pull it.
regard, excuse me, I was just going to mention Freddie Silva. If you have not seen him, incredible researcher. Incredible. If
Yeah.
you enjoy Schoch, you will enjoy Freddy Silver.
You know, the frustrating thing for me is that I see guys like Robert Schoch, who is awesome, and it's still like theories, and people still like he, to me, has proven that the Sphinx is 12,000 years old.
Right.
I can't stand when I see something on TV or the History Channel. Oh, it's about 4,000 years old. I'm like, look, we've already proved this.
Yeah,
or Robert Bauval, how he's proven that
right.
matches with Orion.
Robert's
and he
great.
mentioned that.
Yes.
And he's already proven that. How these guys have to fight to get it proven. And then even when it gets
Hancock, same
accepted,
thing.
you see it on
it's
TV
all well
wrong.
researched. I know. I don't get it either.
And then when you see it on TV and they're like, well, the pyramids are tombs, I'm like, there's never been a mummy found in any pyramid ever.
Right.
Why are they still saying this on TV? That's what drives me. That's why we got the Truth Be Told thing going. Tony and I want to set the record straight.
Perfect
We have these guys that are
Mm-hmm.
geologists that have proven this. We're not saying aliens came. He doesn't say anything crazy like that. Right. He says, I can study this rock, and based on rainfall and geology, it's 13,000 years old, period. So that's it. Nobody can challenge it. I mean, that's a fact.
And when I see Giorgio Tsoukalos,
Sure.
because he's out of the country doing that work right now,
Right.
and his research is amazing.
He has more hair than me as well, so that's another the second amazing
And
thing
higher.
about
Saying
Giorgio.
something.
That's right. That's the second most amazing thing about
Way
Giorgio.
higher. I think you should go there. Then people would stop you. Hey,
When we saw him, I was going to go up to him last year, and I was going to do the hair like that.
Oh, you should have. I know. One year I did that. I had my hair up, and I said, "Look, we're matching."
Nice. We're going to take a quick break on
That's
Truth Be
right.
Told here with Tony Sweet and Contact in the Desert. We'll be right back.
No, we don't tell the public about this. It would panic the public.
My interest is in full disclosure.
There has been and is an existing presence.
This is more about a human rights issue than just a UFO issue.
I think if someone's interested not only in hearing amazing lectures, fascinating ideas, and really expanding their mind, but also in meeting so many other like-minded people, this is really a great place to come to.
People of all different religions, races, but they all have one thing in common. Their minds are open and they're inquisitive.
I love Contact in the Desert. It's a unique conference. We're in at the beginning of something really quite exciting here. There's a groundswell of real passion about this.
There is something that has come in that they may never have expected. And I think that we're finally going to get the truth.
It's really good to know that the world's eyes are opening.
Yes, there was contact with extraterrestrial. Yes, there are UFOs. Yes, we have a scientific proof. You never read this. If just one magazine starts it, all the other continue.
Anything you want, anything you're looking for, any answers you're seeking, you're going to find them here.
I love Contact in the Desert. This is my third year. I keep coming back because it's such an amazing gathering of incredible researchers, experiencers.
All of the limited conceptions we have about life and about what it means to be alive pale in comparison to this extraordinary reality. And the challenges of our little biosphere will seem trivial.
If there is one thing that can change the world right now, I feel it is to open this information and really bring disclosure. It's not about waiting, okay, maybe one day the government is going to do it. We need to do it, and we need to help our government as well. So come here.
No, we don't tell the public about it.
Hey, this is Tony from Truth Be Told. Captain Ron and I want to tell you about a new product that is sponsoring our show called GetTheTea.com, home of Life Change Tea. We've been using this product for over a month now, and we've seen a change in the way we feel. More energy, starting to lose weight. As someone that works out on a regular basis, I didn't know if this tea was really going to help me, but I have to say, I was surprised, feeling great with more energy, and I have lost a few pounds in over a few weeks. So Captain Ron and I endorse this product, and we hope that you go to getthetea.com and pick up the Super Tea. Life Change Tea is a unique blend of all natural ingredients used with great results for several years. They take great pride in selling all organic U.S. manufactured product. It's a special blend which aids in maintaining great digestion, boosting your immune system, and may help cleanse your body from unwanted intruders. So stay healthy, stay happy by going to getthetea.com. GeTT.com. Tell them that Truth Be Told sent you. All right, we're back. This is Tony Sweet. We have Captain Ron here, and we have Victoria Gevioan and Bonnie Burkert.
Said it right.
Yes,
Well
yes.
played.
I'm going to give this just because I got it right. So,
That a boy.
Can you do that again? No.
yeah, that's right. And Victoria is the founder of Contact in the Desert, which we love to go to every year. And Bonnie, you're a team member, a very important part of the association. And it's not a festival; it's a convention.
Conference.
It's a conference, Tony.
Well,
We've
it's
been
the same
talking
thing.
about it for 40 minutes.
Yeah, you know whatever. I'm blonde. Give me a break. One thing that we started with earlier is why people, like Truth Be Told, we had a reason of putting it together and starting Contact. How was that for you, and why was the reason that you wanted to do this? I mean, that's important for people to know, I think.
Well, first of all, as we all know, our lives kind of lead us up to what it is, right? So I started off way back when I used to own bookstores.
Oh, did you really?
Yes, I owned Alexandria 2 bookstore for about 10 years, and then opened another one and all of this. But then my husband wouldn't. Well, the only reason why I opened the bookstores is because I went to the Bodhi Tree so much. You remember the Bodhi Tree?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I went there so much, and I bought so many books. My husband said, "Don't bring one more book in this house." I'm telling you right now. So I resorted to sneaking them in bag. I take them out of the bags before I went in the house so that it wouldn't make noise. That didn't work. So then finally I said to him, okay, you don't want me to buy any more books? I'm going to open a bookstore. And that's how that started.
Good for you.
In the bookstore, we had an incredible UFO section, okay? We were bringing in authors. You see, the big book chains and stuff like that, they weren't bringing in these authors at all. These the Barnes and Nobles and all that, they didn't even pay attention to any of those genre that your listeners are in. Okay,
really?
No. Are you kidding? You had to dig to find a metaphysical book in one of those stores. So what happened was, we opened up the store. We started bringing in the speakers. Now, before...
Oh, you started bringing in speakers
yes,
into your bookstore.
Isn't that cool?
Yes.
That's cool.
So we got all these big names coming in that nobody had. And so we just kept growing the store that way from all these books that we were going through.
Right.
So it started off there. So I was already conditioned into the UFO arena from all those years in the bookstore, including, by the way, books that never even made it to the market. Because being a bookstore of that genre, people would come off the street and they would be carrying their
my
books.
book?
Like a self-published book.
That's right.
Wow,
So all
that's
these
cool.
Amazing self-published books are out there that nobody knows about with these incredible stories in them. So I was already used to it. Then I further down in my life, or not down, it was actually further up in my life. I've got to clarify that. Then I later on started working as a programmer for these kinds of subjects, meeting more people, right? And then I went to a very large facility, 480, the big retreat center, ran that for 11.3 years.
Did you really?
And yes.
You ran that retreat center with it?
While I was doing
Joshua
this.
Tree, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Feel my muscle. So I was already conditioned. So when Paul, my partner, came to me and he says, hey, you already know how to do all of this. We started all these other things, festivals and conferences and all this stuff. Why don't we do something that would be interesting? And I said, okay, fine. So we laid all our stuff out, like just pieces of paper. Okay, we'll do this, or we'll do this, or we'll do that. And we chose the UFO. Because that's a passion of his. And it was already ingrained in me because I'd had my own experience.
Holy serendipity.
All the other things. Totally.
It really
so
is.
I was already in that, in alignment to do exactly what we were doing. What is so extraordinary about Contact in the Desert is you don't have to push it. You know, many times we take on projects that you literally are working, you know, day and night, and maybe you'll move up an increment, but Contact in the Desert, all it took was, we're going to do it. And the people came. that saying, build it and
Sure.
they'll come, that was just exactly what happened.
Well, it makes sense, and that's what drew me. Is that where would I ever have something like this with these kinds to see Eric Van Daan again?
Oh, yes.
My God!
Oh yes.
So it spreads in that little community, like
right, and
which is nice. You don't have to push it.
That's right. And Ancient Aliens really opened up, and to them I bow. I thank them so much because it awoke so many people that didn't believe in any of this. They were saying, "Hey, look, you decide. Here it is." We're on the other side of the country. We're on the other side of another planet, in some cases. And so here's all the proof. But at the same time, they're not digging it into your brain or anything. They're just saying, look, what is this about? What is that about? And I like that. And I wanted to bring that to our conference. And that's why it's so important that we bring in people who really are researchers.
Well, as an attendee, let me say you did do that. That's exactly how I feel, that you did exactly bring that in. And that's how it does feel there. A lot of that stuff, they don't drill it down your head that this is what did it. Like, how did that stone get up there? Just anybody tell me, you know? And the mainstream explanation oftentimes seems so ludicrous to me. Just using common sense, it's like, really, 4 guys pulled that up the hill? Weighs 90 tons?
Or
in Lebanon, that thing weighs 12,000 tons or whatever, and they're like, they carved this 14,000 years ago. So they were eating grubs, and then they moved this. It's like, I don't know that aliens did it. I honestly have no idea. I like to be the skeptical voice because I don't know that. But 4 guys didn't push it down the hill.
No way.
You know, I still need another explanation.
Or there was another one where they kind of tipped it, then tipped
it
again.
Right.
I've tried that.
I mean, it really does come down to either we had advanced technology here on Earth that we lost,
right,
or something came off planet. I mean, those are really the only 2 explanations.
Exactly.
Neither one is really any stronger than the other for me yet. You know, I really don't know, but I want to know, and we want to get to the truth.
Right.
Now, did your experience, like, because you said you've had some experiences?
Yes.
Was this before you owned a bookstore?
Oh yes.
So,
far.
Do you think that was maybe perked an interest that you didn't even know in the back of your mind? That
because of my own path that I take for my own spiritual path.
Right.
One of the keys for me, pretty much most of my life, is that I don't get glamorized by anything outside of me.
Oh, that's good for you.
So you can't. I've been going out of body since I was 9 years old. So.
You've been
you
doing
know what I'm
while.
saying? My mother saw ghosts. My grandmother saw ghosts. In fact, one time, talk about ghosts, when I was at that other place working, there were plenty of them there.
Really?
So, yes. And so one night I woke up and there's this ghost in my room. And I quickly call my husband who's in L.A. And he goes, oh, my God. Aren't you used to it yet?
Is he a believer?
Well, of course, he sees it. I mean, I'm there. I wake up. I go, look.
And he sees it too?
He sees it too. That's why we know.
Oh, wow.
So, but he wasn't with me that night. And the funny thing is when I called him up, he completely dismissed it.
He's just like,
but it calmed me down.
Now, why didn't he say, put him on the phone?
I know, I should.
That's what I would have said. Well, let me talk to him.
Let me talk to him.
No compassion. None whatsoever. No, seriously, though, but we were talking earlier about how we both could not get through Whitley's book. But I mean, I've had experiences where I would literally wake up on a table and they're bending over, leaning over me with the, with a needle in my, right at the side portion of my forehead here, which is where memory is, which I didn't know about that at first, And I have seen, and I remember looking at them and saying, well, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And a teacher of mine, I used to study with Manly P. Hall's wife for many, many years. And she was there. And I said, Marie, what are you doing here? And she goes, don't worry. She goes, just think of all the things you're going to come to know. So that's like they're doing something to help us go to that next level.
Right, so that you would be comfortable
right.
with this. Now, you talked about the book Communion. Have you seen the film Communion?
Oh, yes.
Because there's a moment in that where they do the exact needle thing where he runs up and sticks the needle right there really fast.
Yes.
Wow.
Yikes. I know.
Yeah,
I know.
That's
mine
disturbing.
wasn't really fast. I just saw him when he's doing it. And then, but you'll appreciate this. So what is also fascinating about this whole subject is that many people will say that when I'm going to give you an example. One night I'm out, right? And all of a sudden I'm seeing these beings, and I saw this one, and I don't know if it was I was out of body or if it was or what, but basically, or if I had been abducted or whatever. I didn't know the difference at that point. But I knew that I saw, and it was my husband standing there in front of me. And I went, "Oh, honey." I go, "It's me," because he was looking at me kind of strangely. And I said, "It's me. It's your wife." What, you know? And then I went, "Oh, you're asleep." And then I put my hand on him like this to touch him.
Oh no!
And it wasn't him. Oh. So they can manipulate what you can see. So look at him. He's like freaking out.
That'd be scary.
Yeah, anyway, but those are the kinds of things that I've learned. But I'm not afraid anymore. But I remember one time that I had been abducted so many times. Seriously, it didn't matter anymore. After a while, you do.
You're like,
well, that's what they say. They say that the abductees are just like, well, yeah, they're
okay,
here.
Right,
yeah.
right. I don't even talk about it. I mean, this is the first time I'm talking about it probably in a year or two.
Nice.
So you don't concentrate on that.
And that must be a unique thing too. If you are an abductee, like you say that you are, that we noticed a lot of people they'd ask oftentimes at the panels. They would ask, anybody here feel that they are an abductee? And there's 50 people that put their hand up.
Oh yeah, more than 50.
Well,
yeah.
Depending on, sure. I think it would be interesting to be in that community to talk to other people who have a similar experience.
That's what's so nice about it. As Bonnie was mentioning earlier, we have what is called the Cosmic Cafe, and people will join together and they share their experiences and talk to each other and ask each other how did they get through it. I'm hoping that Travis Walton, remember his movie?
Oh yeah,
that was a movie that'll freak you out. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So Travis, I'm trying to get him to write another book on how do you live after all of this. Where do you go from there? Because you got to keep grounded. I personally, I mean, maybe not everybody may think that, but I personally feel I'm fairly grounded. Everything's science-based for me. I love proof. I'm like you. Everything's got to be, okay, how does that work? I'm not interested in just driving the car. I want to know how does it work, because if it breaks down, we need to fix it. So these are the kinds of things that you have to ask questions about. And I did one time at one point when I was totally not afraid at all. I said, "Why are you guys doing this? What's happening?" And they said, not verbally, of course, through your mind, I'm trying to get the exact words, you would not be able to handle it. And it's something like your truth be told. You can't handle what really is all about. So I, on the other hand, the brave soul that I am,
try me.
I said, yes, I can do that. Let me know. How does this work?
I run contact in the desert. Listen,
really,
I can handle this.
Right. So when he told me, it affected me for about 3 or 4 days. I couldn't function.
Good Lord.
And
what was it? I want to know.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
So I told them, I said to them, okay, this is not going to work. I've got work to do. I need to be clear. And so then they erased the memory.
Wow.
And so if I really want to go there, I will go there. But
so do they have to have permission? Because you remember like the old vampire where they have to have permission to come into the room, into your home. Does aliens actually have to permission, or do they just kind of do whatever they want to do?
Do you have to get permission to sit here and do what you're doing?
Sure.
With yourself.
Oh, yes.
Before you even came in.
Right.
So in some ways you have to believe that we kind of okay things before we even arrive here. And so obviously with so many more people experiencing this now, the shamans already let everybody in. It's the cat's out of the bag.
It's gonna just
everybody's seeing it now.
Yeah.
You'll see if you go on the internet. My God, I mean the technology today is supporting us in a way that all these things that are connecting the dots.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's compelling, too, to me, is that the numbers are, in fact, growing. And cases like Travis Walton's are very compelling, because we've talked to him, too, and he's a great, normal guy.
That's right.
And, he's a unique case because he wasn't really an abductee. He was caught wrong place, wrong time kind of thing, which is a unique situation, a one-off where you've had multiple experiences, as pretty much all abductees have had multiple experiences. And when you were talking about that stuff before, I was thinking of like that whole thing where they say that you wouldn't understand or whatever.
Right.
You see, I'm very logic and reason based. As much as I'm unsure about the answers of what's going on here, I am very logical and reason based. That makes sense to me that you wouldn't understand that. Like they often talk about the jungle theory, how if we're walking through the jungle and we find an anthill, we will stop, we'll pick up 10 ants, we'll put a number on them, we'll put them back, and we'll study where they go. The other ants don't know that we did that. They don't know why. They don't even know we're there. And it's way beyond the ants' comprehension that we're even there, let alone studying them. Why couldn't that just be happening to us on a bigger scale? That makes sense to me.
And it is, because I have to tell you, the one thing that I did retain was the fact that I didn't realize how much control they really had over our universe.
Well, that's scary.
That's the part. It was so beyond. I think it would crack an ego. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because we all hold dearly to our identity.
Sure.
And although we want to surrender it by the time we leave here and overcome its influence.
It's incomprehensible to think that we are out of that don't have enough control over our own destiny. That's insane.
But I think that has to do with trust too, though.
Yeah, I think so.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think that the people who have difficulty getting their way. I remember I used to freak out every time I didn't get my way on something. And then I thought, oh, well, everything's supposed to be my way. And then I realized that it's just because you struggle growing up. You're by yourself, and you got to get yourself through this and through that. And then you go, well, there's nobody here to help me, so I better get up and pull myself up by my own bootstraps and get going, right? And then I realized only after that, no, you don't have to have your own way. The only reason why you fight for it is because you think that your survival is being affected. So it's when our survival is being affected that we have to start expanding our worlds.
Every one of us would think that, though. Yes. Every human being, whether you're into this, not into this, trusting or not. I mean, it's horrifying.
Yeah.
Well, we have about 2 minutes left. I can't believe it's gone this fast.
We haven't even mentioned that this year. Aren't you having Tony? What's he juggling this year? Is it chainsaws again? Or
yes.
That's gonna be one of the attractions.
Blindfolded.
Well, we should mention that it is in June 1st.
Yes, it's June 1st.
Tell us all the details.
Okay, through the 4th.
Yes,
that's right. So, yes, Contact in the Desert is out in the Indian Wells area, right outside of Palm Springs, and we have. It's at the new Renaissance Hotel.
Is it only there? Because it used to be spread out. Is it going to be at one location, everything?
This is a huge location.
So it's just at that one location.
One location,
Great.
But it's huge. We have one building that has 5 rooms, 5 giant rooms.
Oh, wow.
A lot more space, so we're not all cramped.
So good.
Great air conditioning.
That's going to be so good.
A lot of the things. It is. It's going to be. So that's June 1st through the 4th. This coming up right now.
And I'm showing on screen right now some of the speakers.
Never heard of them.
No, you're right. George Norrie, Giorgio Tsoukalos, Eric Von Donigan, Linda Moulton House, one of our favorites.
Michael Tellinger.
I mean,
you got to see Nick Pope. Oh my God, he was.
Oh, we love him.
We've interviewed him before a couple of years ago. He's been. I read his post all the time. So amazing. But these are just a few of the people that's going to be at Contact, and these are people that in their genre is some of the top people in the world,
absolutely,
if not the top. So it's going to be okay. So
John D'Souza.
Yeah, John, I love him.
That's great.
Yeah.
This is the reason to go to Contact right here. I mean, it's a wonderful, fun event. But these people
Billy
in one weekend, you can see all those people.
Billy Carson's a new one that we bought into as well.
Great.
Every year we come in with about 12, 15 new ones.
Good.
That's a lot. But we have to bring back their favorites.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like that.
Well, that's the draw. I really think. I think it's an opportunity to see these people all in the same weekend. I think it's a wonderful opportunity, and anyone remotely interested in this should give it a try.
And go to contactinthedesert.com. You can get your tickets there. Check out where you can hopefully get a hotel room if it's not sold out.
Oh no, we're in Hotel Alley this year.
Oh good.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's not an issue. It's close enough to Palm Springs that
so you don't have to bring your tent this year.
No, you don't. You can be free.
That's right.
You can bring your tent should you choose,
Choose
but
to be in the desert. Yes.
But we, Victoria and Bonnie, we thank you guys so much for being here. It's a pleasure having you here. This is one of our favorite, if not our favorite, events that we go to
all year long.
We've been to quite a few. So
Right, we went to the Roswell, and you were going to mention that earlier, that the Roswell 70th thing. A lot of those people were there, and we knew them only from coming to your festival. So that was great.
That's it.
That's how we met. So, but hopefully you guys will be able to. I know you're going to be really busy, but come over and say hi to us. And
absolutely.
And
thanks for all your support.
Oh, please.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing you.
Listen, please walk by and make a nasty hand gesture to Tony, especially if he's on the air. I would appreciate that.
That's
seriously.
perfect.
That would be great.
Well,
that's not the one I was thinking of, but we'll talk off air about what we should
do. With him, it wouldn't even shock me. So, all right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We really appreciate your support. That helps us a lot. Please support our sponsors. GetTheT.com, and then please support Contact in the Desert. And on the way out, we have another video and we've always wanted George Norrie on our show, so we have to play a little commercial from there. So
there you go.
At least we can say we have George Norrie on the show. All right, until next time, I'm Tony Sweet.
Captain Ron.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Join me, George Norrie, in Indian Wells, California, June 1st through the 4th for the Contact in the Desert UFO Conference, an epic weekend of exploration into ancient aliens, human origins, crop circles, and UFO sightings. More than 100 lectures, panels, workshops, and events with leading experts Giorgio Tsoukalos, David Wilcock, Linda Moulton Howe, Eric Von Daniken, Corey Good, Doc Wallach, and more. Get tickets at contactinthedesert.com. It's time to make contact. Contact in the Desert.
Circular-shaped, unidentified objects that have been reported. 3 shiny objects in the sky attracted my attention.
The unidentified object moved slowly down the Pacific coast and disappeared